It's official. I've pushed the recording button. While Michael types up his hot topics, not tot topics, this is not an ad for Sonic, and we're not talking about tots. We're talking about patreon.com/overthebars. If you are a fan of the Over the Bars podcast, show the love. Go to patreon.com/overthebars and pledge to our show. Your pledge donations go directly towards us buying new shit for the podcast. Right now, we're working on finding a new application to record the actual podcast with. We're fixing the low volume levels on output. We've upgraded our analytics. We're actually going to start going towards advertisers. All of this is possible because of our pledges, such as our pledges that have given us $15 per month. Matt Meyer, Jesse Anderson, and Corey Hipp. And then our $10 a month pledges, Josh Hudson and Ethan Sloniker. Okay, so now let me just go ahead and say you don't have to pledge monthly. You can do a one-time pledge donation towards the OTB podcast on patreon.com/overthebars. That's patreon.com/overthebars. And one more time, like Billy Mays, patreon.com/overthebars. Let's go to the podcast. OTB, who's this?
I'm Ethan Sloniker, Bikeworks powered Donnell Suzuki, 250B, 450B, Schoolboy 2, and you're listening to Over the Bars.
And we're recording.
We're back.
Yes, we are.
We are back in action.
Well traveled too, Mike.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
I didn't go so far. You went so far.
I did go so far. Very far. For me.
There's a song that I'm thinking of in specific. They have an album called Brothers in Arms. Dire Straits.
Dire Straits.
Yes. When you're so far away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing? No. Didn't.
Nope.
Okay. Well, with that being said, and now the ceremonial cracking of the LaCroix. That was good. I've never heard the fizz before. Here we go. Let me do mine. Yours was so far fizzier than mine was.
That was the best we've had so far. That was it right there. That was the $1 million koi crack.
We're done. That's it. Okay, goodbye.
That's perfect. I think we should start talking about your weekend.
You want to go with my weekend?
I do.
Okay.
First, can we just talk about the picture that you posted on Instagram?
Of me washing my bike.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was that after race, after practice? What was that?
That photo was taken by my dad during intermission. Is that right?
Oh.
Yeah, because we didn't really have time after practice for me to wash my bike and change gear. I changed jerseys. I didn't do a full gear change. And so then I didn't wash my boots. And you know, me, I'm 5 gear sets in a day type of guy.
Yes, you are. That's where I was going with that. I was trying to figure out, when did you wear that gear? Because I've never seen you wear that gear.
You've never seen me wear the black pants unless you paid attention to me riding practice. Because I only wear the black gear in practice. Because it's all black. That's when the day is the coolest. And that's black gear. Doesn't get dirty. You know, that's like my practice set. But then I put on the white and neon flow green yellow. Flow lime.
And somewhere in there
jersey.
you put on teal.
No, I didn't wear teal this weekend. I didn't wear the
Really?
fox gear. No, I just wore the throwback shift stuff, the 20th anniversary stuff for the second set of motos. Yeah.
So what we're talking about here is the round 3 of the Missouri State Motocross Championship Series.
USA.
USA. Mr. Crutcher went into it the points leader of the 250A class.
With it was either 5 or 6 points, and now it's either 8 or 9. I don't know. I did the math on it last night.
Did you win?
No, No, I got second behind Adam Goley.
Oh, Adam Goley showed up.
Adam Goley showed up, yeah. So
wow.
Adam won 250 and 450 both.
Okay.
Dude, I made a pass on him in the second 250A moto that was for the books, dude. It's like, it was one of those times where I was just like, okay, I know that I'm going to drop anchor on lap 3 or 4. I have to lay down as hard as I can, as fast as I can, heaters, and try to gap him. Didn't work. But dude, it was crazy because after lap 3, Colin was, and no discredit to Colin Fletchall, Colin was a solid 8 seconds. I actually counted because after Adam passed me, I shot my load. There was no way that I was gonna make it that speed all moto. So I actually counted. I was like counting 1, 2, 3 to see from whenever I took off of this jump face, and I could count whenever I was coming back on the next section over when Colin was coming. After 3 laps, we had an 8 or 9 second lead on him.
Wow.
We were going.
He's really fast at Kingsville, too.
Dude, yeah.
He's very comfortable there.
Yes, he is. Mm-hmm. So that gives you an idea of the speed that Adam and I were running.
Same track as round 1?
They updated the, okay, so you know the split rollers by the road?
Yes.
They changed that. They added an additional roller between the first hump and then, okay, so there was a hump and then you would turn right. And okay. I was launching that hump out into the face of that next roller. They added an additional one there.
Oh.
Yeah, so you would actually single into the face of the next one and like full compression load third gear bop over the next one. It was cool because you'd go single, double, triple out. It was
no more riding like up on the side.
Oh no, we were still getting up on the side, but there was a little bit extra sauce involved.
Did adding that make the outside any more usable?
No, because I don't think that whenever they built that roller, I don't think they anticipated us going single, double, because it was a solid 20 feet, and you're coming off of a roller, braking into the face of it, and then like 20 feet, and you're doing it hip style into that landing that's on a wall. Very technical section. I don't know if I was the first one to do it, but I know that Colin didn't jump it until I did it because he was right behind me in practice.
Also looked like I watched somebody's helmet cam. Mm-hmm. Looked like they changed after the finish, you do the split lane.
Correct, yeah.
And then you go into that straightaway. Did they change that, or has it always been like that? It was like kind of like rolling whoops, sort of. I thought that was like a rhythm section through there.
No, it was just those rollers. Yeah, it was.
It's always been there?
It was the rollers last time also.
Oh, okay.
But before that, it was a double, triple. Whenever you would set up, whenever you would, the split's so hard to explain. So from the finish, if you were in the left split, then you would double, triple out.
Okay.
If you were in the right split, you would triple.
And that's why that was faster.
Actually, no, it was faster to go left. This week, okay, so last time it was faster to go to the right split. Mm-hmm. This weekend it was faster to go to the left split.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that I really thought that was cool. And then you know how we were doing that outside bank after that? The inside, you know, it's funny because last time the track wasn't as wet. This weekend, or at round 1, it wasn't as wet. This weekend, at round 3, the track, by and large, was more wet, but that corner was drier. So the inside actually got some rut berms. Mm. And then he changed that jump table into more of a triple now. And like, dude, the first lap that I hit it, I was like, whoa, because they built the face up real big. So it pops you up pretty high. It was a good change. And then after the giant scrub wall in the back, there's the triple step up. Mm-hmm. I think just rain compacted the face and it kind of washed out before it was much, much harder to get over it.
Really?
I didn't jump it every lap in any moto.
Really?
It was that hard, yeah. Adam couldn't make it on his 250F every lap. Colin, I mean, the guys were boosting it on their 450s every lap.
Yeah.
But it got real rutted before that.
Wow.
I did something that I have not done at the races in the last time that I can remember doing this thing that I did was 1999 at the Kentucky, I can't remember the name of the track, Kentucky Loretta Regional.
Looped it out right out of the gate.
Nope. Even worse.
Worse?
Yep.
Crashed in the pits.
Nope.
Worse than that?
Yep.
Oh, man. Forgot to turn your gas on.
I missed my moto.
No! Did you really?
We were Moto 4. I thought we were Moto 5. And I put my helmet on and you know, I was like, okay, that's Moto 4 that's getting ready to take off. So I'm going to ride up to the gate now. I put my helmet and goggles on, start my bike. It was cold. I hadn't rode it since practice. Like I said, we were Moto 4. Just happened to put my goggles on and kick my bike over. And then I see the guys, and I was parked in the back again.
Yeah.
And I see Adam and Tucker come over the first tabletop, and I was like, oh, that's my class.
What did you do? Did you have to ride all the way down the start and jump on?
No, I just cut onto the track in the back.
No biggie. Just jump right in. I was there. I swear I was on the start.
Yeah. And you know what's weird is they scored me 4th in Moto 1, but I got 3rd. I don't know if I got quote unquote penalized for missing the start.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was that 450?
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter.
No, because beating Adam and Colin in the second moto it wasn't going to happen. Dude, we had a really, really tight race in the last 450 moto. You know, Adam got tired in that one and about lost his marbles in the back sweeper, and then me and Colin were right on him. He really didn't gap us that much, but it was enough for us to be like wheel to wheel to wheel.
Yeah.
And I was riding that was probably the fastest that the three of us went, and that was the hardest that I was riding because there were 4 or 5 lines in every corner, but Colin in his 450, he was just hogging those insides. I could not get around him to save my life. And I was giving it the best bid that I could, but I ended up tossing it on the next to last lap, just trying something.
You know what I used to do when I was in Colin's shoes?
What?
My dad taught me this. On dusty tracks, I used to drag my feet.
Okay, that's a vintage thing.
Yeah, it works though.
The track wasn't dusty.
Well, I still would have been doing it, just hoping maybe to throw a wood chip at you.
Yeah, you would have. That's some Mike Garrison stuff right there.
Yeah, if I got the whole shot and I was out front,
Dragging the feet.
better believe it.
Yeah.
I remember a vintage race. I did that. That's where my dad taught it to me.
I don't doubt it one bit.
There was a guy that was probably 85 years old, but he was hauling.
Yeah.
I mean, he was getting it. And I was not about to let him beat me.
You were not going to let that cagey old veteran get you.
No, I was not.
Okay, that's fine.
They didn't water the track, and it was powder, fluffy dirt with grass, and I was like, perfect. So I did the where you kind of lay on the tank like, oh, I'm getting squirrely, both feet down. What? You can't see nothing.
Yeah.
And you look back, and the guy's, he's waving his head back and forth and like slowing up, and you're like, yes, I got this.
Just trenching.
Yeah. I won that moto. I sure did.
I believe every bit of that story.
Mm-hmm. True story.
So, yeah, dude, you know what's funny is I didn't even freak out. I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'll just jump onto the track behind everyone else.
See, that kind of thing always panics me. Like, whenever I had that happen.
Yeah.
I only had it happen a couple times. But when I'm late to a race, I just freak out, and then it's like instant, my race is over.
Really?
I cannot compose myself. I don't even have to miss it.
Yeah.
Just get there late, and I'm like all freaking out.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I'm the exact opposite way. I'm better whenever I line up late.
Well, I guess it's less time to stew on things.
Yeah.
How many pros this weekend?
It was week 4 and 250, 5 and 450.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was impressed with the 14 at Casey Moto.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. But I think the main thing is that, number one, we had a lot of rain last week.
Yeah.
And number two, it was not a reschedule. It was a replacement race from Soggy Bottom.
Yeah.
Because,
my understanding is Soggy Bottom is soggy at the bottom of a lake.
No, it literally is in like a gully where it's
an Adam gully
or an Aaron gully, but it literally is in like a lowlands, a marsh area.
Kind of like, well, Green Valley wasn't in a. It is in a marsh.
Green Valley was in a floodplain. Yeah,
which it got some gnarly rain too.
They just flooded a couple weeks ago.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Remember all the marks you guys used to make on the
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were.
Did all that flooding do a lot of damage? Or was most everything out of there?
Actually, okay, so my dad would put the tractors on top of the step up in the back.
Yeah.
Because there was no way the water would ever get that high.
Yeah.
But then we didn't keep anything out there that couldn't go underwater and survive.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, I'm trying to think if there was, we had some damaged stuff. We had some, the concession stand had refrigerators and freezers, and we actually had them on 2-foot tall risers in the concession stand, but we ended up bailing on those. But John Evans got those at wholesale for like next to nothing. But they.
That's why after that one big flood, your mom was serving like fish sandwiches and fish sticks.
Yeah,
because they were in the score booth in these concession stands.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and then we moved away from that and went towards a catering trailer.
I remember that.
Yeah. We had I can't remember the guy's name. He was out of Lexington, Missouri.
Yeah, it was really nice, as I recall.
It was good barbecue. He had good barbecue.
Yeah. And you guys always had nice bathrooms. You had the little trailers.
The trailers, those were really nice.
Yeah, the little trailers, yeah. Except you'd always get that one big guy that walks in there on the opposite side. He starts rocking that thing. You're like, whoa. Wheel chocks.
Yeah. Better strap this baby down.
You remember when my mom ran over that kid in the parking lot?
No, I don't. Refresh me.
You don't remember my mom running over the kid in the parking lot?
No, I don't.
Okay, so it was a state race, and there was a motorhome blocking the exit to the track. So my mom's leaving, and she was just driving like normal pit speed.
Yeah.
First gear idle speed. And in her Jeep. And she's headed out, and this kid on a PW50 comes flying out.
I do. Okay.
Shoves it right in front of her front wheel and sticks the bike up in the fender of the Jeep.
I do remember that.
My mom wouldn't drive for like a month.
Yeah.
She was crying, and I remember she got out. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. The kid was fine.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm so sorry. We'll buy you a new bike and all this different stuff, and like just going on, like hysterically crying.
Yeah.
And my dad's standing over there like, no,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That was the wildest thing ever.
Wow. I forgot about that entirely. There's a lot. Do you remember that there was a time? LaCroix's getting to me.
Yeah, it is.
There was a time, I'm going to say 2001 or 2002 at a state race, and some drunk guys flipped their Camaro on Double A.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember
On
that.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
And they had somebody come pick them up, and they left the car there.
I do remember that. Mm-hmm. I also remember the woods back there by the starting line. You go into the tunnel. Mm-hmm. There were some humongous leaves, and one time I had to take just a big giant dump on the line, and I ran back there and squatted down and used one of the big old leaves.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I didn't. What I didn't know at the time was I think it was you and somebody else had cut some trails back there.
Oh, the pit bike track.
Yeah. So there was a bunch of pit bikers back there. Well, I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
I'm just doing my business, and I look over, and here they came. Yeah. Good times in old Grain Valley. Old GV.
Dude,
X2.
Yeah, that's right. The original name of the track.
Yeah.
Do you know how it got the name X2?
I know how I think it got the name.
Go ahead. Just give me a guess.
Because John opened Extreme, and that was supposed to be Extreme 2.
Right. So it wasn't necessarily that it was Extreme 2. It's that it was just X2. You know, kind of related, a spin-off, but not Midwest Extreme Park 2.
And wasn't the very original track layout at Grain Valley a Daytona replica?
The 1997 Daytona Supercross replica.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we still have the original plot of the property to scale, the track, everything that was. My dad somehow got the blueprint for the track of Daytona, and then just sized it down because the blueprint was too large.
Yeah.
Scaled to our property, and then just traced over the track, and then they built it. I mean, dude, with not to the point of exact inch. You know, they didn't have surveyors.
It was cool, though.
But it was as close to it as it could have gotten.
It was cool.
Yeah, and then over the years, it changed a little here and there, but I mean, it kind of maintained that.
Have you been out there much since you guys got rid of it? Since you sold it, moved on?
Well, okay. Are you ready for some excellent Grain Valley information? There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that don't know that my dad started Grain Valley in 1997. Actually, 99% of the people that ride Grain Valley today don't know that the Trouts didn't open that facility.
I can understand that.
It's
seeing that they own the old track next door.
Well, the thing is we've got a full different cycle of riders now.
That's true.
The people that are in it now typically are not the ones that are that were in it whenever we were growing up.
That's true.
It has
many of them were not even born at that time.
Many, yeah. Uh-huh. So my dad actually leased the property from the Grain Valley Fair Board.
Okay.
Who, they put on the fair at the little park next door to where the football fields are at.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At the first exit.
Yes.
On Double A. So the fair board also owned this property as extra parking. They would store horses and stuff over there whenever they would do horse events down the road at Monkey Mountain or whatever. My dad saw the property. It wasn't listed for sale or for lease or anything. He just saw it and said this would be a good place for a motocross track.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know what he was doing. He was at John Christopher's in Grain Valley and left and came into town and just turned down that way, I guess, and then grew a wild hair, decided that he was going to contact the city of Grain Valley. The city clerk put him in contact with the director of the fair board. The fair board, he worked out a deal. Are you ready for this? The lease on the property, the original lease on Grain Valley Motocross Park, $500 a year.
What?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
you can make that back in a good practice day.
At the time, practice was $8 to ride. So a 50 rider, 60, like a 60 some odd rider practice.
Which Grain Valley had all the time in its prime.
Well, shoot it every Wednesday night. Yeah, you're talking 100 riders.
Yeah.
Typically. So
I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated it.
It was always busy.
Yeah. There was like, you know how you do that thing, like, I'm going to wait till this guy goes by and I'll cut out?
Yeah.
There was always somebody else waiting to cut out. And it was like, I'm never going to get on the racetrack.
Nope.
And then if I do, I'm never getting off.
Right. Yeah. It's like the
It's like the I-5 in California.
yeah. Once you're in it, you're in it.
You're in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the fair board actually sold the property to Parks and Rec, and whenever they exchanged hands, Parks and Rec said, "Okay, we're going to have to charge you more for your lease." And my dad was thinking, "Oh boy, here we go." They doubled it.
$1,000 a year?
Yeah.
Wow. Holy cow.
Yeah. So then,
That called for an extra practice.
yeah. So then in 2005, a developer bought, or it may have been 2004. No, 2005, a developer bought the property from the city, and then 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 the lease was like $200 a month or something like that. So then it jumped up a couple $100 a year because it's floodplain. It's absolutely worthless. You cannot do anything with that property. The only reason that dude bought that property was to lose money on it as a write-off for other properties that he was making income on. So then the people built the circle car track on the backside of, what was that guy's name? It was either Harold or Harlan. I can't remember. Harlan, the guy that owned the drag strip. Because, the drag strip's not part of
Right.
Green
It's
Valley
totally
Speedway.
separate.
Yep, it's a separate entity.
Yeah.
So the other family built the circle car track.
So Strouts didn't build the circle car track?
I don't believe that they did.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
No, they bought it out from the people that built it. Because Shrouds sold their motorcycle dealership,
Yeah.
and then reinvested that money
Into the circle track.
into the circle car track, and in the same. Okay, now here's the crazy thing: they also bought the track from the developer, so they bought the property, so they own the property where the motocross track is at now.
Okay.
They bought it from the guy that developed, quote unquote, air quotes, developed the property.
Okay.
He didn't do anything.
No.
He just bought it from the city and then sold it to Shrouds. He, just
Okay.
flipped it. And he made an offer to my dad to buy it, and Dad didn't bite. He's like, "No, I've been doing it for 12 years. I'm out."
Yeah.
So our last race there was in 2008, July of 2008. It was a state race, and dude, I mean it. Do you remember whenever Matt Guzman was running?
Dude,
track?
I was just getting ready to ask you, what was that squirrely guy's name?
So the reason that Matt took over the track for like a year and some was because my dad was so he works for Kansas City Power and Light. He was overseeing the construction of a wind turbine farm out by where Will Hahn is from, Belpre, nowhere. Great Bend, Kansas, out that way.
Okay.
I think the name of the town was Waverly.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Yes, I'm very familiar with Waverly.
Yeah.
Of course. So he was gone. He'd be gone for like 10 days at a time. So he didn't have the ability to keep the track open.
Gotcha.
And the only person that was interested was Matt. Yeah,
Matt was a super nice guy.
Nicest guy in the world. Gave it the old college try, but he was not a motocross track owner.
No.
He was just an
I
avid.
wonder what he's doing now.
I don't know. My dad and I were talking about that the other day.
We should look him up. We should find him.
So then, by this time, Shrouds had already bought the property, but then my dad was leasing the property from them.
I didn't know that either.
Right. So the property actually changed hands 4 times while my dad had it. And then the deal was, if I remember right, Dad, on the last year, my dad, a.k.a. Jerry C., did not have to pay to lease the property because he essentially trained Brett. Because if you remember, Brett was the one that took over the track originally, not Brian.
Really?
Yeah, Brett.
I didn't know that. I thought it was always Brian.
No, it was Brett's deal for a year or so, and then Brian came in and took it over.
I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. And so Brett, my dad trained Brett on what to do, and then they had, a couple races at the end of 2008, and then after that, their target audience of the track has changed a lot. Now it's more just like the local riding spot, the place that's open. I mean, they prep the track and stuff, but I mean, it's not what it used to be. Now, that's for two reasons. Number one, the clientele that Shrouds are going after are not the riders that need immaculate conditions. What am I trying to say? I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, and there's not, the number of riders aren't there. Yeah. There's not the same number of people that,
Same number of diehards.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's less riders, and their demographic has changed towards what they're going after.
Which is cool if they make it work.
Hey, it's
very similar to RC cars.
Well, see,
we're seeing that.
The thing is I'm appreciative of Brian having the track open still, because I know, for me personally, it's not the first place that I'm excited to go to, because since 1997, that's like nobody's turned as many laps as me at Green Valley.
Yeah, I can understand that. I remember asking that as a kid. I thought that was so cool that you guys had a track and you were like, no, it sucks. I hate it here.
Yeah. That's pretty typical for anybody that has their own track.
Yeah.
Is they love it at first and then they hate it because they just get so burned out on it.
Yes.
That's like, I learned my lesson though. And so like at Crutcherwood, whenever we first built that track in 2004, I rode it all the time. Now that's because I was trying to get fast and I had to maintain my skill. But after that, and after I got hurt, so like 06, 07, I mean, I quit riding out there, but like once every other week, kind of tapered it off once a month, so on and so forth. Now I only ride out there 4 or 5 times a year. And I make a thing out of it. It's always fun to get some guys to come over, and Scott Gebkin can tell you that it is the easiest track to have a bad day at. But
I was actually getting ready to ask you if I should come over and ride sometime, but
hold on. Now here's the catch.
Okay.
There's one jump on the track, and it's a tabletop.
I like the sounds of this. This is my kind of track.
It's the perfect track for you.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's not, because there's a couple corners that are really tight.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not good with that.
No, but you could cut them. You could swing them wide.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the catch. Is it is a technique enforcer. Crutcherwood is, and
it's a training facility.
Absolutely. It is a track built with a purpose. You just put the bike in third gear. I ride it in third gear on my 252 stroke. I lug the bike, in the corners. There's some second. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are corners that I hit second in. But for the most part, dude, I just pull third gear. Let the bike lug. I'm not out there to burn up my clutch. I'm not out there to learn how to go fast. I'm there to crack down on my fundamentals of riding. And there are a lot of guys that come out there and try to ride that track, like just burn up laps. And the thing is, if you're going balls out, lap times are only like 40 seconds long. And so you wear yourself out so fast. It's like it's trying to ride an arena cross track with motocross obstacles. It sounds easy, but it's actually really hard to do because because you never get a chance to brake. You're always going left, right, stand up, sit down, downshift, upshift, uphill, downhill, off camber, roller, left onto a bank, right, drop into a valley, straightaway, third gear, shift down into second, right foot out, sweeper, off camber, sachet, left, tabletop, single. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
whoa.
No, I know. It never ends, but it happens that quick. Like it's real quick.
What is a sachet?
A sachet is kind of like that's a fancy word for an S corner.
Like a dog leg?
Actually, yeah, that'd be it's a dog leg.
Sachet.
Sachet.
I'm going to remember that.
Sachet.
That's really good.
Thank you.
I wish I would have known that this last weekend.
Was there some sachet? Oh, that would have been a good one to use.
Yeah.
Yeah. What part on the track would you have used sachet for?
There was a little, actually, I probably would have, the Hangtown half pipe, I would have just called that a sachet.
The riders are coming to sachet through the half pipe.
Yes.
Oh,
that would have been amazing.
Did you have service out there? On your cell phone?
No. Well, I had 4G, like
Extended?
yes. So we
That
tried
ain't worth
to do a live
Yeah.
thing. It didn't work.
No.
Then Brittany had a little bit of phone service on hers. So she logged onto my personal Facebook and did like a live one, but it
was hit or miss. Yeah. Okay.
it's way out there.
Oh, let's talk all about Hangtown.
Okay, let's talk Hangtown.
So you fly into Sacramento,
Yep.
and then what?
You want the whole story?
I want the whole story. Let's
Okay.
say we've got 64% battery, and we're 35 minutes. We're good. We got this.
We're good. Okay, so
By the way, let me just go ahead and inform before you. I dropped the ball and I left my computer charger at home. Lucky for me, the computer was charged.
but if we disappear,
Right now, we are riding on a ship that is taking water.
it's okay. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. Okay, so we fly into Sacramento on Wednesday night. So Wednesday night, we're like, hey, we're going to go back to the hotel and just chill out. Well, we talked to our friends, Kevin and Penny Bridges from the Dirt Diggers Motorcycle Club
Yeah,
that
okay.
runs the track.
Yeah. So it's actually, is it on public land?
It's owned by the state, yes. It's a state park.
And then it's operated by the club.
The Dirt Diggers Club runs it, except for, I forgot what they told me now. It's like 24 days is what Lucas Oil gets it, just for the National.
Okay.
The National is, like the Dirt Diggers have a huge part in it. They're prepping the track and all that, but it's a Lucas Oil race. Like the Dirt Diggers are not running the race. They're prepping the track. They're patrolling the pits, that kind of thing.
So by Lucas Oil, you mean MX Sports?
MX Sports, there's Lucas Oil Series.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's as if MX Sports has a lease on the property from the state for 24 days, and then Dirt Diggers provide the
Everything.
the infrastructure
Yes.
to operate.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
I may have something wrong in there. But
That's what we do here.
Right. Yes, that is what we do. That is correct. Anyway, so we go to the track. They say, hey, we're hanging out at the track. Why don't you come out there? So we go out to the track. It's already dark. Okay, well, if you've never been to Hangtown, being in a state park, there's a million different turns you can take.
Oh, yeah.
So Penny says to us, hey, we're up on the hill. Well, there's 45 different hills.
The hill.
So we don't know where we are. And I'm telling Brittany, turn right, turn left, turn right. She's driving. We forgot the hand controls, so she drove the whole time.
Okay.
So we have this little Jeep Renegade. So I don't even know where the track is at this point. And we find ourselves out in the middle of this field, and I realize that we are on top of what they call Big Mo, which is the big hill in the back.
Okay.
How we got past the whole front of the track and the sides of the track, I don't know. But we're on top of Big Mo. So now I have no idea how to get down from Big Mo. Well, I'm like, hey, okay, well, let's go this way. As we start going, the next thing I know, we got park rangers chasing us along with the highway patrol because you're not supposed to be back there. I don't honestly know how we got back there, but trying to tell the park rangers, hey, I don't know how we got back here.
Yeah.
So then they say, well, what are you doing? And of course, my natural reaction, we're looking for Penny. They don't know who Penny is.
Oh.
So the park ranger's like,
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah. Sure.
So
keep lying to me.
Yeah. So then they're like, well, we'll escort you out. Okay. So they escort us out to where we don't know where we are again.
Okay.
So then there's this highly secured area that you're not supposed to go into. It's the Dirt Diggers like campground.
Okay.
Somehow we ended up in the middle of it. No security. I don't know how, but we couldn't get out because security wouldn't let us out. But we don't know how we got in. Long story short, we found Penny.
Yeah.
So Penny was like, hey, we're going to take a tour of the track tonight. We'll kind of show you some things, even though it's dark.
Yeah.
The track has some lights around it. So like you can kind of see parts of it. So we drive down behind the starting line. And lo and behold, we're talking about the surface of the track and what they put into it. And poof, blow a tire
Oh, no.
on the rental car. So midnight, AAA is coming out to old Hangtown and fixing our tire. That's how our weekend started.
On the starting line.
Well, no, actually, we left Hangtown before we realized it was flat.
Oh.
So we were out in the middle of I don't know where.
Yeah.
some gas station somewhere.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Yes, that's how it started. Then Thursday was, we had to go change out rental cars. Thursday was press day. Missed majority of press day trying to figure out rental cars. Because you can't just drive on a spare tire.
Right.
Because if you do that and it pops, you're in trouble.
Right.
But they also don't just hand you another car or fix that one. You have to go through this whole process and like file a report, an accident report.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So we got in an accident with a wood chip, and the wood chip won. There was no damage done to the wood chip, so...
Did you buy the $9 a day?
I did.
Okay, that's smart.
I sure did.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to a motocross track. I knew I was going to a national. The last national I went to was the one with you when we were like 7, and it got really wild.
Yeah.
People were burning trees and houses and everything else. So I can only imagine.
Right.
They've changed a lot.
Slightly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Thursday was amateur day. But then it was the autograph signing at this mall that was really cool. And I got to... His name was Mike. I don't know his last name, but he was like kind of like announcing the pit party, like autograph thing. And I got to kind of jump on the mic with him and hang out behind the scenes, which was cool.
Yes. I'm fully listening. Go ahead.
Let's see. Oh, and I almost lost my wife.
To
Weston Pike.
Lady killer.
No lie. So she's handing tickets out. You had to have a ticket to get in the autograph line.
Yeah.
The night's winding down, and they're like, hey, we're not handing out any more tickets. So people are coming up, and Brittany's saying, no more tickets. Sorry, we're done. Well, these little kids come up, and they say, hey, can we have a ticket? And she's like, I'm sorry, we're done doing autographs. And the guy that was handing tickets out with her was like, wow, you're a bad guy. And she's like, I know, I don't really like being the bad guy. Well, Weston overheard her, and he was like, it's not always bad to be the bad guy.
Oh.
And she was like, well, I just feel bad. And he's like, oh, you're not a bad guy, but I'll bet you're bad.
To
Brittany.
Yeah.
And Brittany was like,
yes.
So then she went to walk by, and she was like, excuse me, I'm going to weave through here. And he was like, well, why don't you just weave? Are you going to weave? Weave for us. And like going on and on. And so then afterwards, she's telling me about it. She's like, is this making you mad? And I was like, no. And she's like, do you just like want to just go punch him in the face? And I was like, you're talking about Weston Pike.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you going to do?
What am I going to do to Weston Pike?
He's the modern day Tyler Evans.
Yeah. So she said, well, would you have said to him that I was married? And I said, absolutely. But then I would have pointed at some random dude in the parking lot and been like, that's her husband.
Yeah. The biggest guy you can find.
Exactly. Take him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a good time.
Kick his ass, Seabass.
Yeah, exactly. Brittany's a huge Eli Tomac fan. And so Eli
Does your dad know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They go round and round nonstop.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So Eli was actually really cool because I was behind the autograph line, like because we were announcing and stuff. So I just wheeled up to him and I was like, listen, I'm not going to have a place to stay tonight if I don't get your autograph for my wife.
Yeah.
And he's like, no problem. So, I hand him a shirt that she had bought. He signs it. And I was like, I appreciate it. I can now, I have a hotel room. And he's like, I'm really glad I could help out.
Yeah.
And so Eli's pretty cool. Then she did this stalker move on him. She walked up behind him and just said, I'm getting my picture taken with you. And he looked at her like, what in the world? She's like,
okay, lady.
She said, just smile.
Just smile, sweetheart.
Just smile.
Just smile for mama.
So, and then, But that's how that went. That was cool.
Yeah.
Then, okay, so I went out there. I hoped that at some point I was going to get to announce.
Yeah. So you went out there to do amateur day, correct?
I didn't go out there to do anything.
Oh.
Okay.
I had it totally convoluted in my head.
Yes. Okay, so we have been wanting to go on a vacation.
Yeah.
So we have not gone on a honeymoon. So I guess you could say we were going to make it a honeymooning, I guess, sort of. Anyway, so like we weren't paid by any means to go out there or whatever.
Right.
We went out there on our own. And I was like talking to our friend Penny, and Penny was, she's part of the Dirt Diggers. So she was like, hey, on amateur day, we can ask the track announcer maybe if you could announce a race or two.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that'd be cool. So she was introducing us to all these people, and I was like, awesome. So we were up in the score tower, and the announcer just so happened he was racing, and he was like, I got to go race. And so I got a chance to announce a little bit. One thing led to another. Next thing is I'm in a meeting with MX Sports.
Yeah.
And I'm back the next day and announcing on Pro Day.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great racing.
I'm a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
Which day was amateur day?
Friday.
Okay. So how much of amateur day did you call?
Probably maybe total, because I did it both times that he was racing. So
Right.
2 hours.
Okay.
But all of Pro Day. From 8 in the morning to... Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
How stoked were you?
Stoked enough that it didn't sink in until we were on the plane ride home as to what exactly had happened.
And now my next question is, what about from today on?
No clue.
You have no idea?
No idea.
They didn't say, hey, we might need you for this or that, or...
Yes. I mean, so along the way, got to meet Davey Coombs. Super cool guy. Tim Cotter is the legendary announcer.
Yes,
I worked alongside. I don't know of any specific races that that they want me back for just yet, but they made it seem like I was welcome to come back.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So who were you announcing with? Like, did you?
So I was announcing with Tim Cotter, but he would go down and do a lot of interview stuff.
Okay.
But then also the Dirt Diggers had their track announcer, which his name was Steve Thanger.
Okay.
And so Steve and I were in the booth the whole time.
Yeah.
Tim was in and out, and then Jimmy Albertson was down in like mechanic area.
Okay.
And the funniest thing about Jimmy was, so we're in this MX Sports meeting.
Yeah.
Afterwards, well, halfway through it, Jimmy jumps up. There's this guy that rides up on this like 1982 XT600 with like an open face, like straight Jimmy McGarth.
Okay.
Jimmy jumps up and just goes after the guy. And I'm like, leave it to Jimmy. Like, he would go make friends with this guy. Turns out it's Brian, his dad. It's his brother.
Oh, it was Rick?
Is that his name?
Hold on. Brian's brother.
Yeah.
Uncle Rick.
It might have been Uncle Rick.
Black mustache?
No. I think it was Uncle Rick. I thought I heard him say that.
Okay.
Anyway, so I roll up to him. I'm like, do you remember me? And he's like, no. And I was like, Mike Garrison. And he's like, no way, man. I was like, yeah. And he's like,
So hold on. Was it his dad, Brian?
no, it wasn't Brian.
Okay. Then it was Uncle Rick.
Okay, it had to be Uncle Rick then. Sure.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Anyway, you know what the first thing came out of his mouth was?
What?
You're doing the podcast with Crutch.
No way.
Yes, true story.
That's awesome. It blows my mind how many people actually know that we do this.
Yep.
Because, in my little world, it's just you and me, and we sit here and record this, and then
You and me and a dying computer.
and we post it, and then it's just a mystery what happens after that.
Yep.
But I have been getting a lot of requests to do the OTB logo on my Rip and Rut stickers.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost every single person that I'm doing a kit for, they ask for it. And if they don't ask for it, I put it on there anyway.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's mandatory.
That's right. It is part of part of the deal. You want to buy Rip and Rut's kit, you're getting the OTB logo somewhere on the bike.
That's perfect.
So did what was your gosh, I'm trying to think of like what your day would have been like at the track. So I saw the video where you said, hey, I'm Mike Garrison. I used to race and now I'm here and let's send it off to Jimmy Albertson. That was really the only video that I watched.
I didn't even know that video existed.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's
No.
Yeah, that's the only one that I watched of you.
I've never even seen that one. Okay. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
there is a lot more to announcing a national on Pro Day than people realize.
Because of what?
Just you think of, okay, there's 4 races, 30 minutes apiece. There's 2 hours of announcing. Wrong.
No, sir. There's 12 hours of announcing.
It starts with a meeting at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Then leads into practice and
And you're calling live timing.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is your eyeballs have to really work hard. Like the difference between like being in a stadium and outside, you can tell who everybody is. Hangtown, the furthest point, like even the big bikes looked like you couldn't tell they were.
Did you have, by chance, did you guys have the live television broadcast?
We did.
Oh, that makes things nice.
Yes, but that was only during the races.
And was there a delay or was it?
No, actually, it was spot on.
So you essentially had a direct feed.
Yes.
That helps a lot.
Yes. The only thing is no fault to anyone necessarily, but what I wanted to talk about wasn't always what was on TV. So, like, there were, towards the end of some of the races, as everybody spread out, the TV would focus on, the battle for 8th and 9th.
Okay.
But that's not really what I was focused on.
Well, that makes sense. I mean,
I was more focused on, like, okay, so Big Mo on the backside.
Yeah.
This is going to be hard to explain. But you went up the top, you kind of turn at the top and then come back down it.
yeah.
So everybody was going, the inside, it was like this on top.
By this, you mean?
Like a V shape.
Okay. Yeah.
So like the inside was the shortest route, the shortest jump, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the outside was obviously the biggest. So everybody's taking the inside. Well, like Tomac was railing the outside, jumping and literally banking off the banners.
Okay.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't on TV, so I didn't always know when he was.
Why does it? Oh, so you didn't know when he was back there.
Right. Sometimes
Okay.
he would be in sections that you couldn't see, and so I was waiting for him to be in those sections and watch him on the TV. Mm-hmm. Like the half pipe. We couldn't see the half pipe.
Okay.
So like the cool pass that he did with
Mooscan.
in the half pipe.
You couldn't see
We
it.
couldn't see that.
Okay.
We saw it on the TV, but we couldn't see it in person.
So you were relying both on the television and on what you were seeing.
Live timing, the television, and what you were seeing.
How do you feel about them taking all 41 entries into the 250 class?
I questioned it at first.
Yeah.
However, I wouldn't swear that, I don't know this for a fact, I wouldn't swear that even 35 finished either moto.
No.
So I don't know that it mattered.
Well, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with them taking the 41st guy. I'm saying there were 41 entries at the first race of the Nationals.
Oh, I see what you're, oh, well, yeah.
What I think...
One practice, that was it. There was no Group B.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I think is happening is once they started the current Pro-Am points collection system and the Road to Supercross system, I think there's like a 3-year lag on something like that. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing it. There are less people now that have their pro license than ever.
Yep.
Because they're making it more and more difficult to get your pro license. AMA Pro Racing is.
Yep.
I understand why. And it's a double-edged sword for them because they are eliminating excess at the races and they're trimming down and making the program easier to run.
Yes.
But on the other side of it, it goes to show you they don't need 80 entries.
No, I see what you're saying.
The $200, now where I'm going with it is different than maybe what you think. The $200 that it costs to race obviously doesn't matter.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because if it was important, then they would have charged 40 guys $400.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which now that they have this MX Sports and AMA Pro Racing, now that they have this system of it makes it harder to qualify. Now there's no reason to charge entry fees. If it takes more to get your pro license, that's going to weed out the guys that you used to get pre-2000. When did they start that system? 2012?
2012?
No, it was earlier than that. It was like 2008 is whenever they started the Pro-Am point system.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But it was much lower. It used to be 25 points. And then they doubled it to 50, and now it's 75. You have to gain 75 points in either 250 or 450.
Now, let me ask you this. 450 had a Group A and a Group B. There was a lot of 450 guys.
There was also no Group C, which there normally is.
Oh, good point. But why was there more 450s, you think, than 250s?
Because you can ride a 450 for 2 years. So your 3-digit back marker guys, there's more of those that can afford to do it because they don't have a bike payment anymore.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
There are a lot of guys out there riding year-old equipment.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Whereas on a 250, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to buy a new bike with a new motor.
Yeah.
And essentially, to be a competitive 250 racer, you have to have 2 bikes.
Yeah.
If you're on a 450, which again further proves the agenda that 450s are too much power, if you have a 450, you really only need 1 bike if you're a privateer.
Yeah.
It's nice to have 2, and it's gonna take a lot in maintenance, but you can ride and race on 1 bike all year.
You know what I think the bigger issue was?
What?
2. I have two bigger issues.
Now, let me ask you this. Should your issues be part of the hot topics?
Sure. Yeah, we can leave it for that. Yeah.
Let's start Mike Garrison's hot topics.
Okay, let's do it.
Hi guys, this is Josh Hudson with Fox Racing, and you're listening to Over the Bars podcast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Unfortunately, I'm sure we're going to have to hear another race report from Jeffrey, but it will all be worthwhile when we get to hear from Mike Garrison and the hot topics.
Topics.
That was a beautiful intro.
Thank you.
What a way. All right, hot topics.
What are the two? First off, what are the 2 issues
The 2 issues?
that you just talked about?
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Hit me with them.
Boom. Fly 150.
You mean the Fly 75 and then a big roller after it?
68 to be exact.
Okay.
Yeah, the Fly 68. Nobody could do the Fly 150. They had an obstacle that was supposed to be awesome. Josh Grant tried it on press day. Wadded it up. He was the last one to try it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a hot topic in itself.
Yeah, it is.
Wait, it gets better. Okay, so before the second set of motos, man, they were wanting somebody to try the Fly 150. So before it, there's I wouldn't call it a wall jump, but kind of a wall jump into 3 rollers.
Yeah.
So Tomac, a couple other guys, Plessinger, they're doubling into that and then doubling out. And then into the berm, then into the Fly 150. So they take the dozer out. Well, let's take that last roller out. Why not?
Yeah.
Give them a little better run at it.
Okay.
So they do it. Nobody does the Fly 150. So they said, screw it. 450 Moto 2, somebody's doing this Fly 150. So they take the dozer out. See ya. They took the whole roller section out. Just completely out.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know why. Because I didn't watch the first motos because I don't have Nav TV.
NBC Sports Gold, my friend.
I didn't subscribe. I wanted to get through the first one and see how it goes. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so they wiped that section out. 450 guys are on the line. They wiped that roller section out. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm a little confused. I can tell you Bob Hanna was in the score tower at that time. And Bob Hanna was not happy.
Bob Hanna was livid.
Bob Hanna was not a happy camper.
And Bob Hanna is going to motherfuck some people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Bob, yeah.
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 So
Bob was happy to see how gnarly the track was, how rough and rutted it was.
I was happy. I was Bob Hanna happy.
Bob was not happy to see the dozer building the takeoff to the 150 bigger and wiping out the rollers before it 3 minutes before the gate drop.
A, because sketchy, and B, what is this, a circus?
Somebody needed to do the 150.
Nobody ever jumped it.
Nobody delivered.
Good.
Nobody delivered.
Good.
Nobody even looked like they were going to deliver.
Nope.
That was the bad part.
That's so crazy that they built a jump that Eli Tomac, Marvin Muscan, and Jason Anderson don't jump.
Now, do you want to hear the flip side to it?
Yes.
The talking to Steve, the other announcer, he's a local guy there. They race there a lot. The Fly 150 has been there they've been riding on it.
Since they first built it?
Right.
Yeah.
His son, who I think he told me rides the B class, with the last little layout that they had, was doing the Fly 150.
Oh, my God.
Like, there were local guys doing it. So it was something in that roller section and the way that burned before it was built that you couldn't carry your speed.
Maybe on amateur day they don't rip it as deep, so the track isn't as porous and spongy.
That's possible.
I would, if I was a betting man, I would say that the dirt was far different, as it always is, on pro day than on amateur day.
I would say now they didn't do it on amateur day. He was just saying like in prior weeks. So
I understand.
The layout was, according to him, the approach was different. But yes, I agree with what you're saying. The difference between amateur day and pro day, just from I obviously didn't get down there.
Right.
The track went from gnarly on amateur day to gnarly on pro day.
That's what happens whenever you have guys that are on the throttle more than off the throttle.
I would agree.
Yeah,
Yes.
because the longer that the rear tire is under torque, the gnarlier the track gets.
Well, they were getting gnarly. But also, you were talking about track prep. I think they ripped that baby just a tick deeper because them ruts got real deep.
Yeah.
Coming down them down.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
You had two gripes.
Oh, actually, I was going to go back to your entry fee thing. How do you know they're not going to do that with entry fees? That was the first round. Maybe they didn't expect that low of a turnout.
They're not going to change it mid-season.
Well, maybe before we can criticize them, we have to wait till next season, round one, to see if the entry fees go up. And by that time, we're not going to remember, so it's going to be a totally obsolete topic.
No, I'm saying the only thing that they can do is drop the entry fees altogether. It's highway robbery.
No, I'm saying, though, like you were saying, that the entry fees don't matter clearly because they didn't charge them
Double. Yeah.
But maybe they didn't expect that low of a turnout, and if they did, they would have charged them double.
How would they not have known? Okay, no, they're not going to change. They can't change the entry fees mid-season. And they can't change the entry fee.
You can't change the track before the last moto either.
Well, they did.
Right.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. But I don't think that... my point is that if their whole goal is to weed out the goons and make it an elite professional series, a professional sport that's on the same levels as NASCAR, NBA, PGA, MLB, I could name the acronyms, then why are the athletes paying to be in the show? Why are the athletes not being paid to be in the show? Because
I see what you're saying.
If they didn't have all 80 pre-entries, $200, they lost money. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there's a pro purse that it's like $22,000 per class. Is
it really?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. So, quick math. If it's $22,000, that means, let's say 80 times. There are people at home that already have this done.
Yeah.
Times 200 equals 16,000. So they're coming up short $8,000 if they fill every pre-entry spot with 80 riders. Well, this weekend they came up $16,000 short.
Ouch.
In the 250 class, and then an additional 8,000 short in the 450 class. Now, they're losing money on the payout to begin with. But it's the cash, part of the cash is being covered by the entry fees.
Wow.
Explain that. How can the promotion group hemorrhage that much cash every single weekend? I can tell you why. Because they're making money hand over fist. Those races are a license to print money. And in the process, they're still charging the riders. They're nickel and diming. Okay. If they need to make up the difference, raise the price for the pro license. It's $350 now, raise it to $450. But then, drop the entry fees. Make it harder to get the pro license. Make it more expensive to get the pro license. Kill the entry fees.
You see, this is why Brittany handles our finances, because I'm not a financial person, and I'm trying to wrap my head so far around what you're telling me right now, but it's just not happening. So I'm gonna smile and nod.
Say yes, sir.
I'm gonna say yes, sir. I think you have an idea, and we're gonna move on to our next hot topic.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I didn't realize it happened, but apparently it happened. So Fortner's bike, first moto. All sorts of troubles.
Yeah.
Pulls into the mechanics area, gets her fixed, heads back out. The issue is, from what I'm understanding, none of us in the tower could see exactly what happened, but it was cutting out. Basically, the ignition was cutting out.
Allegedly, the bike wouldn't make it up one of the hills, so he just cut back to the mechanics area.
Correct.
And re-entered the track in last place.
That is correct. He pulled a Jeff Crutcher.
From the mechanics area. I made my first entrance onto the track in last place.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So
It's a Missouri thing.
You're right. Yeah. So that's just a hot topic. There's a lot of people talking about that.
There are a lot of people that are pretty upset. I did see that on Vital, that people are upset that
Yes.
Forkner rode from one side of the track to the other with a faulty ECU.
Yes.
And then got it replaced.
Yes.
And then headed back out. And I guess that the AMA officials unofficially commented that him having to start the moto in last place with a 2-minute deficit was punishment enough.
I didn't hear that, but okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hot topic. And
yeah.
Regardless, though, of the hot topic, whether you like what he did or not, I don't think he intentionally was thinking, I'm going to cut the track.
No.
And
he was thinking, my bike's not going to make it up this hill. I have to.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then he rode balls out and came back to 11th, regardless of whether he cut the track or not. He was on the gas.
Yes, he cut the track from the time that his bike was boom, bloop, 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 up the big hill.
Yeah, Big Mo.
Up Big Mo. In last place.
Yes.
Stayed in last place all the way to the mechanics area, and then came from last place with a massive deficit to 11th. He restarted his entire race.
Essentially, yeah.
I don't see where the argument is. I think that people are just nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking.
Well, I just want to know, second moto he goes out, I don't know, he had to have collided with somebody, but he didn't go down. That rear fender was flopping every which way.
The telecast, Grant Langston was hot over that thing.
Well, it was starting to irritate me a little bit, and I'm like, man, that thing is bugging me. It's got to be bugging Austin. But Tim Cotter made a very good point. No, it's Jimmy. Jimmy made a great point. It doesn't bother Austin a bit, but every single person that's behind him, they are like watching that
thing. It's the only thing they can look at.
Yes, that's the only thing they can. So he was actually using that thing to his advantage.
That's a smart move.
Yeah. But then he hit the eject button, like, you know, on Mario Kart, where you shoot out the little red turtle shells to get people?
Yeah, and then it go...
Yeah, I think it was Savachi that he got by. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that he had a button on his handlebars because Savachi started closing up on him, and he sent that fender off. They were coming down through the rough section. Savachi's right behind him, and he's like, whoop.
Yeah.
And there goes the fender.
Through the red turtle shell.
Yep, exactly. Savachi weaves and bobs. Okay, that's it. Okay, moving on. Talking about Savachi. Savachi did not live up to my expectations. He was last year's winner.
At this race.
At Hangtown.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
he started out strong.
Yeah.
Petered down.
I think that Zach
killed it.
He set the tone at that last Supercross race of
yes.
I'm here to win.
Yes.
This is my year. And I'll do whatever it takes.
Yes.
And I think that got inside of okay, I'm imagining me if I was in his position.
Osborne or Savachi?
Savachi.
Okay.
There's no way that I would not be, thinking, dude, he got me. He pimped me.
Yeah, I agree.
He got pimped.
Yeah.
Big time.
I agree.
So I think that took him down a notch or two, overall.
Well, he started ahead of Osborne in one race.
Yeah.
And Osborne they were banging elbows going up the hill, the Red Bull Hill. And Osborne just showed it to him again. So that doesn't help any.
Showed him his pimp hand.
Yeah. Ferrandis. That dude was on fire.
God, that crash. Did you see the crash?
Yeah. It was over what they called the Hangtown Hucker.
So it was so weird because it started so small.
Yep.
And ended so big.
Yep.
Yeah.
I literally, when it started, it was like slow motion watching it. And I thought, oh, he's a little squirrely. And I actually started to say that announcing. I was like, oh, Ferrandis makes a little mistake. And as I got to te, it just went south super fast.
Well, that's what happens whenever you swap and then the earth ends.
Well, it ended.
And so did his day.
Yes. His day ended too.
Is he hurt or?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he just rung his bell. Okay, so did you see Tomac's crash?
In which moto?
Moto 1.
No, I didn't watch Moto 1.
That's right. Okay, so he had a 22-second lead.
Oh, I did see where he just like tossed the front end, right? In a rut?
Yes.
Right-hander.
Okay, so I'm making an assumption here, but I just want to reiterate how gnarly the track was. My first reaction was, oh, he grabbed a handful of front brakes, something like that. That rut was so deep that it caught his front brake rotor.
Wow.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because if you watch the slow-mo replay again, his front wheel is just sunk in there. Not necessarily the rotor, but like the bottom of your forks.
Yeah.
And that's what did it.
It just ate his wheel.
Yeah.
You know how like whenever you get a real big rut and like a 1 foot chunk of it will just collapse
Exactly.
over? It may have collapsed into his wheel as soon as his... Yeah.
It was a weird crash.
There was a lot of really big ruts at Kingsville this weekend where I would come around and like a whole foot of it would be collapsed in from one of us just blowing it out.
I hate ruts.
Love ruts.
Oh,
that's why I named my sticker company Rippin' Ruts.
That's
that's at Rippin' Ruts Custom on Facebook and at Rippin' Ruts on Instagram. Go ahead.
Is it at Rippin' Ruts Custom?
Yeah, on
I didn't
Facebook.
know that.
That's somebody already took Rippin' Ruts.
Wow. Somebody else is already ripping ruts.
On Vital.
On Vital. Roxon was there. His arm.
How's his arm look?
It doesn't straighten out. It does not look like a real arm.
Is it spindly?
It's not as spindly as I thought, no, but it looks like wax. You know, like those wax museums? I'm serious.
He's got a mannequin's arm.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like a wax arm. It's very shiny.
What if this whole time he actually has a fake arm? It's a prosthetic.
Then if that's the case, he is doing fantastic.
Okay.
He's really doing well.
Wild theory, unpopular opinion, Roxon actually has prosthetic arm.
Why not make it arms? If we're gonna report false news, let's make it really false. Let's just go big.
Okay.
All right.
You heard it here first on Over the Bars podcast. Roxon has prosthetic arms set to race Supercross 2018.
I think he said he'd be back on a bike in 6 months.
Okay, so that puts him out for Supercross next year too.
Yeah. Did you see the video with him on the Honda Grom?
No.
Okay, he's riding a Grom down the street, and he's using the clutch with that hand.
Yeah, so they fixed the clutch to be the throttle.
What? It's his left arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's pulling the clutch lever in.
So how's he throttling?
With his right arm. His left arm is the one he broke.
Oh! Gosh, Mike, I didn't even realize what was going on there.
Yeah.
I thought that it was the opposite arm and that because the way the video sounded, I thought he was revving the bike by pulling the clutch like that was the throttle. I watched it one time while I was driving on Instagram.
Okay. I've lost all faith in the rest of this podcast.
I get everything wrong, and then I talk about it. With full authority.
What? Oh, actually, we could go with that, though. That was the throttle. That makes it even better. He was throttling a Grom with a clutch lever with his broken arm.
Prosthetic
broken arm. Yeah.
On the left side.
On the left side.
While filming with his right prosthetic.
Right. We are... Oh, my. Okay, so back to Hangtown real quick. Do you know what the track is made of there? I learned something new.
Like what did they put in the dirt?
Correct.
Coal dust?
Rice hulls.
Oh.
It is the...
I did know that.
Yes,
actually.
It is the strangest dirt ever. It's cool, but it's like very like marshy, like
Okay,
it's almost like peat moss. It feels like.
I was just about to say, is it like not paper mache, but what is that? Yeah, whenever you take like wet
Yes.
Cardboard and it dries out and it's fluffy like that. Yeah, okay.
It's just like that.
What? I can see that being really hard to ride in.
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah.
That was what I didn't realize at first, but the first practice when the track is all groomed, they were saying that will actually be slower than when the track gets rutted and gnarly.
Because it was so spongy?
Because it was so spongy, and they were right. By 2 seconds, everybody lap got faster.
Wow, that doesn't happen. It's usually the other way around.
No, they also had a race that I need to talk to you about that I think you need to enter in because you still have you can still
I sold the 125.
Yeah, but you still have a pro license, right?
No. I can get it.
You need to get it because the dream race, the FMF dream race.
You don't have to have your pro license to race the dream race.
That's where I was going with that. I don't know if you do or not, so now that I know you don't, why are we not doing this?
Because I don't have a 125.
Let's find a 125 and make a 125.
And I would need to take the Friday before the race off. I can't get it off. Whenever I bid on all my vacation and my floating holidays, there were no single Fridays off by the time because I'm on the very bottom of the list of all 140 employees at my station. It sucks, dude. I know it's terrible.
I'll ride it. I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do
Mike's
it.
doing it.
We're going to put me on a 125. We're going to strap me on. I'm doing it.
Beautiful.
Dream race. Amazing race. It was super cool to watch.
How long did they race?
4 laps.
That's not long enough.
I would agree, other than in that 4 laps time, you would not believe the gap everybody had between each other. There was quite a gap. But I had all my money on Josh Hansen.
And he got second or third?
I think third.
Yeah.
He looked real strong. He got a terrible start.
Did Topher Ingles win? 13 on the Honda?
No. It was. Wait a minute.
No. It was the Fast House kid, Robbie Wageman.
Yes. But there was some.
Was Carson Brown there?
I don't think so.
That's maybe he had an area or regional to go to.
Aiden Tierra was there.
I'm not familiar.
Very fast KTM kid.
Okay.
I don't know if he rode the Dream Race though. I can't remember who was leading the Dream Race, but literally they had one turn. Was that the Dream Race?
Mike Sleater.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mike Sleater was there.
Yeah. Sleater had it wrapped up and then threw it away on the last lap.
Like 10 feet from the finish line.
Can you believe that?
I could not. Not to mention in the last chance qualifier, whatever you want to call for 450, the last guy to make it in went over the bars on the finish line. He landed the finish line, was like, yes, I made it. Crash.
Ate it.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah.
How many people were in the qualifier? 10?
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. I think there was 12.
Ooh, and they take 4, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In 450, yeah.
I'm trying to picture 12 bikes on the track
At Hangtown?
at Hangtown at LCQ speed.
Actually, believe it or not, Stewart was one of them. So he ran away with it, I believe.
I didn't even know Malcolm went.
No.
Ronnie
Stewart.
My bad.
Yeah. But something happened to him in the practice sessions. Like, it was one of those things like,
Oh, yeah.
he would have made it.
Yeah.
But, so it was no question that he was going to make it.
Okay. Cheyenne Harmon did not make it.
No.
No rip and ruts.
Helmet wrap.
And then yeah.
Do you know who Shallon Tennant is?
Challen.
Challen?
Yes. He used to be 71, but now he's whatever number.
He rode Amateur Day. Open Sport. Pro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fast.
Real fast.
Yeah,
He was getting it.
I haven't raced with him yet.
Is he young? Old? What is he?
Very young. Yeah, he's like 17.
Okay. So he has potentially, like, he's going places.
He's up. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's up next, but he's
on the roster.
Yeah, he's in the farm system.
Okay. All right. What about Max Voland? You know anything about Max?
Talon Voland's son.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude.
Fast.
Gnarly.
Mini bikes.
Yes, KTM.
Yep.
So he lines up, and I don't know if there's any relation. There has to be Carter Dubach to Doug Dubach.
Might be.
I don't know if it's a son, grandson, nephew, what it is, because he had like the Black O'Neill, looked just like Doug.
That's awesome.
But I thought he was going to be the one to watch. And then somebody up in the score tower was like, no, it's going to be Voland. Watch. He'll just smoke everybody in this one. Literally, the gate dropped, and he did a Mike Lessie hole shot and was just gone.
Out of there.
And his jersey had something really cool that I was going to tell you about.
Yeah.
His name, Voland, starts on his left arm, goes all the way over the back of his jersey and down his right arm.
Have you noticed that actually Dungy's stuff has been like that? Like the stuff that he wore in Supercross?
No, I had not.
Yeah, no, it started like outside of the vest part of the jersey and started on the sleeve a little bit.
That's what Max's did. Looks very Europeanish.
Fox? What kind of gear?
I don't know. It almost looked like Alpine Star gear.
It may very well have been. Did you know I was the first American amateur rider sponsored by UFO?
I believe that.
I feel like I have that wrong.
I believe that too. I believe everything coming out of your mouth right now.
I could tell you both sides of the story in one sentence and you believe both of them.
Yep.
I should sell things for a living.
You should.
I
You should be a
should.
used car salesman.
I'd rather sell new cars.
Or new cars.
I'm trying to remember what it was. I was the first of something because Parker and Parker.
Trampus Parker?
Yes, imported UFO gear.
Mm-hmm. He races vintage.
Right, and for some reason, I just got Tyson and Talon Voland mixed up with Trampus and Travis Parker.
Who is Tyson Voland?
Talon's brother.
I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, Tyson was Talon's mechanic for a very long time. Whenever Tyson was racing, or Talon was racing on the D Marini Honda FMF team.
Okay, yeah.
Tyson was his mechanic.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and then before and after that, also off and on. Sorry,
That's really. I got to be honest with you. That's it. That's all I've got.
That's it for Hot Topics.
Yeah, really. Oh, no. One quick hot topic. I learned something in California. Everyone is super healthy in California.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, not only are they healthy, but they're going to tell you about how healthy they are.
I didn't get told until I made the mistake of I carried a large unsweetened iced tea McDonald's cup into the Whole Foods market.
You committed murder.
Do you know how many people literally just dropped to their knees, like crying, and like I didn't even know what I'd done?
Yeah.
Because they didn't know it was unsweet iced tea. They may have gone a little easier on me had they known that. They just thought I was drinking like a big old Coca-Cola.
Just Coke American.
Yeah.
Coke heavy.
Yeah. So I wheel my way into Whole Foods Market, grabbing some bottled water with a McDonald's cup. And yeah, that's what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
But I felt very out of shape there. I feel out of shape now here.
Yeah.
I felt very out of shape in California.
Just by being there.
Just being there, I was like, I don't feel right.
Land of the fruits and nuts.
You know what the problem is? There's nowhere like they need like a fast food fruits and nuts place. Because when you're on the go, they still have fast food there.
Yes.
Well, they need like a healthy fast food.
Maybe there is, and we don't know about it.
I tried to find it. The closest I could find was In-N-Out.
There's a place here, there's a couple of them in Kansas City called Zoe's Kitchen, and they're like the closest thing to healthy fast food. It's more healthy food than it is fast food, but they do prepare it quickly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's actually really good stuff.
Yeah.
That's free promo for Zoe's Kitchen at 135th and Knoll in Overland Park.
Thank you, Zoe. If you'd like to be a Patreon, please visit patreon.com/OTB.
Over the bars.
Over the bars. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is that it for Mike Garrison's Hot
That's
Topics?
it. Hot Topics are done. We're cold.
That's it for Hot Topics.
That's it.
Now we're going to talk about stickers.
Something that we both hold dear to our heart and we've never talked about.
I was telling the story yesterday of how you and I used to, on Sunday, because this kid came over and got stickers from me, and he's like, so do you own Rip and Ruts? And then was asking me, do you have a factory?
Yes, you have a factory.
I was
duh.
like, yeah, duh, you should see it. It's huge.
Yeah. Matter of fact, excuse me, I got to get on this conference call real quick.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
I've got to get with my
GM.
vice presidents.
Yeah.
But no, I told him that, you and Dan print my stickers and Breyer also print my stickers for me. And he did not understand at all. And I told him, I was like, okay, I design them and then I set them up to print and then I send the files away to this magical place called a print shop. And then the printer, prints the files and then I come and pick them up.
Boom.
It's as I see what you did there.
I did there? You see what I did? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That was actually really genius.
Yeah, it was.
Boom RC.
Boom RC.
So you got into sticker printing kind of ahead of the curve, really. I mean, there was
2007.
Yeah, there was not a lot of folks that were doing, small private label sticker printing companies and in motocross even at that time.
You know how I got started?
Tell me.
I got started because in RC car racing,
Yeah.
I sucked at painting bodies and I didn't want to paint a body anymore. So I said, why don't they make graphic kits like they do for dirt bikes? And there was a company called Upgrade, which is still around, arguably the best and biggest, based out of California. They were the only ones doing it. I wanted something that they didn't have. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go to one of these, bike places, have them make it. Well, nobody would make it for me. And I didn't understand, beautiful. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I went to these bike places and I was like, hey, can you just make me these stickers? And I thought it was as simple as everybody else in the world thinks it is. And it's not quite that simple.
Right. No.
So then I called Decal Works and they were like, man, we don't do RC cars.
They don't do digital printing.
Well, then I said, well, how do you do it? I just want to do it myself then. Thinking for some odd reason that they were going to tell me.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me. So I got online, I Googled it. I took out a loan, bought a printer, had no idea what I was doing, made some very awful stickers for probably a solid 3 years. Just terrible.
I liked the Chet Ford story the most.
The Chet Ford, as in when he was racing arena cross, leading the 125 beginner class, came over the catapult, came up short, and his number plates blew off.
Correct.
That's not the plastic. The number plates themselves did not blow off. The stickers in which I had made him blew off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do his all black bike? Do you remember that? And what was the name of his mowing company? Was it a Cut Above?
I think it was maybe a Cut Above. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, that was Trent Simpson.
I don't know.
Who was a Cut Above? Or maybe that's someone. What was...
I don't remember. I remember what you're talking about.
Anyway, Chet Ford had that all black Honda that he did.
I did do that. No. I did do... I don't remember.
I think you did.
I might have.
Yeah. Good looking bike.
Yeah, I don't remember. We progressed.
Yeah. So what kind of printer did you start with originally? What was the first one?
It was a thermal printer.
Oh, and are those the one? Wait.
Yep.
A thermal printer.
Yep. The ribbon printers.
Okay.
The ones that you and I have discussed so many times that do white and fluorescence.
Yeah.
And chrome and gold.
Do you still have it?
No.
Okay, you got rid of it.
Yeah, it was like the size of this one times 2.
Breyer still has a thermal printer.
I'm sure he does.
That's how he does, or used to do his neon stuff, and then he got rid of it. Bike Graphics Dan he did thermal printing for years and years.
The problem that I had with thermal printing, this is not being in a warehouse. This is not the cleanest environment. Therefore, any speck of dirt or dust that lands on those ribbons shows up in your print. Mm-hmm. And with RC car stuff, which is what my main focus was, fades are huge in RC.
Yeah. You can't do fades on thermals.
You cannot. And if you do, they have to be on a pop machine from a distance. They look fine. But these guys up close, it was wow, that looks terrible.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I said, I got to get rid of this thing. So I sold it to a guy and he came with a trailer and loaded it up, took it away.
What did you buy the printer for? Do you remember?
What reason did I buy it for?
No. What did you pay for it?
Oh, geez. I think back in 2007, the thermal printer was 22.
100 or 1,000?
1,000.
And what did you sell it for?
6.
Technology, dude.
Yeah.
It's people don't understand that the printers are just like laptops.
Yeah.
You buy it, and 3 years later, it's so far beyond obsolete. It's ancient technology.
That was the other thing was, I can't remember the name of the company now, but they did not have any dealers like around here. I did all this online, like all Google searching, like just jumped on in, didn't research whatsoever.
Only way to do it.
Yeah. So it was all shipped to me, and like we had to set it up ourselves. Well, there was no support around here. So anytime there was something wrong, I had to call them. Well, I had to fly this guy out from the state of Washington to work on this thing. And he spent 30 minutes on it. But it cost me like $3,000 to get this guy here.
Instead of just
Buying locally.
Yeah.
Support your local dealers.
That's why your dad has a business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you moved on to what kind of printer?
This one. I've only had 2.
Oh, this is the second one.
Yeah.
The Roland VersaCam.
The VersaCam.
And you had this, what year did you buy this in? 2010?
Yes. It might have been 2011. I might have had the other one a little bit longer than I said I did.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, this old girl's pretty old.
It seems to work just fine.
Yeah. She gets the job done.
It does a great job. I think the major advancement for our industry, aside from the actual, there's 2. See, and this is something else that a lot of folks don't understand. Not only have the printers gotten better, but the vinyl,
Yep.
and the laminate,
Yep.
and the adhesive,
Yep.
have changed greatly.
In 2007, when Chet Ford's number plates blew off of his dirt bike, there was no specific. There were companies out there claiming they had dirt bike stuff, but it was not readily accessible to someone like myself that was new to. You know what I'm saying?
It was one of those things where you had to buy it, 10,000 feet at a time.
And correct, if you wanted like the legit stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to assume that it worked, and it was not good.
No.
So that's why I got out of motocross for a long time.
Okay.
And that's why I got into RC stuff, because for the RC cars, you need the adhesive, which that was fine, but it was like the laminates and stuff that weren't holding up for the motocross stuff.
Okay.
Then more and more of these companies started coming out with motorsport.
Specific.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And now they have it down to like, I want to do helmet wraps. They have helmet wrap material. I want to do boot wraps. They have boot wrap material. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now it's crazy.
That is, there is quite a major different, and I've noticed from not even a year and a half ago, before we started getting that rippled paper.
Yep.
That makes a big difference.
Yes.
I don't know what that does.
You want to know?
Yes.
Okay. The rippled paper is a new technology they came out with that allows, if you get a bubble,
Yeah.
it's little channels in the back of the vinyl that allow you to basically squeegee that bubble out easier.
Oh.
Without those channels, if you get a bubble, you got to cut it or peel it back or whatever.
Pop it.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, you still can't like get.
right. It's not foolproof, but it helps.
But it helps tremendously.
yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I know the reason for the technology.
Yeah. So if you ever get vinyl that doesn't have the little channels in the back for your bike, don't get bubbles.
And for advertisement purposes, all Rip and Ruts kits come
with channeled vinyl.
yes, with channeled vinyl. I feel so much smarter now. And then so where were we? Oh, okay. So I met with Dan. I can't remember if it was yesterday or yesterday. And come to find out that he's wanting to do wholesale.
Love that idea.
Yeah. To people like me. Because there are actually a lot of individuals like myself where they want, people are coming to his type of company and saying, hey, we want to do this. How do we do it? I guess I've heard horror stories about people going like you,
Yeah.
whenever you went to decal, or people going to throttle jockey.
Yeah.
Because Dan claims this, and I don't think that it's necessarily true, that throttle jockey is just like me, where they're a company with an advertising department, but they don't actually do
Printing themselves.
the printing themselves. I think that they have a printer just like yours, or a digital printer. And I think they do their custom, rare, one-off stuff in-house. But I think that all of their mass run stuff is done outsourced.
I could see that.
Okay, so like Breyer, 180, his decal sets that he did for Jimmy's motorcycle superstore team last year,
Yep.
silk screened.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anytime that's why the team graphics look so good.
Yeah.
That's why the colors pop so well. That's why everything is so awesome, because it's all silk screened on to the vinyl and then laminated over.
I heard also this weekend that Motorcycle Superstore is no more.
You didn't know that?
No. Nobody told me that.
Wait. No, I'm thinking of BTO. Because BTO pulled out of the Butler Brothers team.
Yeah, they still got their amateur program. They're still a thing, but I heard like Motorcycle Superstore is like maybe going.
Yeah.
Like go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, go back to what we were talking about. The wholesale thing that you're talking about?
Oh, yeah. So Dan said, hey, I want to use you as like our feature, customer. Right, yeah. Our feature wholesaler, broker, whatever word you want to use it as. Because,
Broker makes you sound very important.
yes, I am a sticker broker. Mm-hmm. Which is, a broker is a fancy word for middleman.
Broker is also a word that I associate with the guy that screws you.
Ribbon Ruts Brokerage.
Yep.
So, between you, Boom, Breyer, 180, and Dan, Bike Graphics, I have 3 different suppliers that are all capable. And see, what's cool is I use you for a niche thing, and then I use Dan for my full-size kits, and then I have Breyer do anything that I print onto flow or need to print onto clear vinyl. Because he has the perfect setup for doing the clear vinyl stuff. As you were saying, Mike? It's okay. Go ahead and talk.
I lost my train of thought.
I was saying that I have 3 different suppliers that do something different for each.
If somebody like Dan with the wholesale thing would have existed.
How long ago?
When I got started.
Then you'd be in my position.
I very well might be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You have some bad news, don't you?
No.
Oh, you were looking at the computer screen. I thought you were going to...
Oh, well, we're at 23%. I was planning on going for another 3%.
I thought you were... That's what you were going for. Sorry.
Let's keep going for 3 more %, which would, about 10 more minutes or so.
2%. I feel like it just went down 1%.
No, 23% still.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. So Dan said, hey, I'm going to use you to be our featured customer. We're going to go to Vital and KTM Talk and all of the major forums and say, we're now offering this service. It'll be set up as this pricing. We'll have all of these tools for you to come and be a authorized. I don't know if he's going to require business licenses. I don't know if he's going to require, what his criteria will be to become, a wholesaler of bike graphics. So he'll be like the UMC Print or Staus or Vestcom which those are major printing operations.
I have never heard of any of those.
And you never would if you didn't hear me say them, because they're behind the scenes. Those are the ones that are printing for the printing companies. Yeah, see, there's always, in printing, a lot of people don't understand that there's retailers like myself, and then you have wholesalers like how Dan is for me, And then you have the printing giants who are printing jobs for like the big companies. Think of
Like the menu signs at Sonic, McDonald's.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, those a lot actually. Where was I? I was there's a company in California called Cal Silkscreen. They print stickers for everybody. Like
Okay.
everybody from Red Bull, Hurley to Monster Energy. It's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Now, whenever you pick up your cool sticker pack that says Factory Effects on it, that has all those logos on it, you think, oh, cool, Factory Effects printed these. Negative. Cal Silkscreen did. Yeah. There's a lot of brokerage, a lot of middleman, a lot of
brokers.
Yeah. Operating the whole system behind the scenes.
Bobby Broker.
And I think that door's about to be busted wide open, and there are a lot of people that are going to learn just how things are really done in the motocross decal printing industry. Mm-hmm. It's different than the average person thinks.
Mm-hmm. That would also, I think it changed a lot with, have you ever heard of MotoCal?
I am such a not fan of MotoCal.
I didn't say I was a fan. I was just saying, have you heard of it?
Of course, yeah. I
think that changed a lot of things as well. For somebody to be able to get online, I think it changed a lot of things for good and bad. I think it changed a lot of things for good in the sense that people don't realize how much work goes into making a good-looking set of graphics.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are going to get on there and design their own graphics, and whenever they get it, they're going to realize it looks like junk.
Yes.
With a capital J.
Yes.
Yeah. People buy from us, and they truly don't understand what goes into a set of decals.
That is true.
And MotoCal is kind of bridging the gap between designer customer and printer without the designer.
Yes.
And
what I don't understand on MotoCal is, because I've seen people like posting stuff.
Yeah.
Like, people are using all sorts of different logos they're grabbing off the internet.
Yeah.
Is there anybody policing that?
No. I don't think that they will print Red Bull logos.
Okay.
And I don't think that they will use the Honda logo.
Okay.
But because I was like, oh, what's this? And so I walked through the whole system. I, faux ordered a set of MotoCal graphics.
Yeah.
Up until the payment system, then I boned out on it.
Yeah.
It says whenever you're putting it asks you,
do you have the right?
Do you have the permission to use these? Yeah. And then you have to check a box that says, yes, I have permission. So they're passing off the responsibility to you. Right.
Gotcha.
Now, that's kind of a crooked way around it. I still think that Honda could come at them with a cease and desist if they really wanted to.
How much is a set from them?
From MotoCal?
Yeah.
It's like $240.
For a full bike?
Yeah. You're still paying more to design it yourself than if you came to me or you or Bike Graphics or anybody else.
Interesting.
So my new, or I should say, Dan's new printer, like I told you, hits every color in the Pantone registry. I don't know how many colors that is.
A lot.
It's like 2,500.
It's a lot.
Yeah. For those, everyone doesn't know what the Pantone registry is. It is the Bible of colors.
If you have a color that isn't in that, you should change colors.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, there are spot colors, and spot colors are automatically loaded into the programs that we use, and they have different CMYK values than if you see. This is where I don't understand, and I even went to school for digital pre-press. I don't understand how a spot color and a CMYK value can have the same
values,
but
look different.
The spot color prints differently, even without the specific color cartridge.
Yep.
How does that work?
I have no idea.
I'll never understand.
But I agree. 100% red and 100% yellow, CMYK,
Yeah.
is the exact same as a Roland like RVW19H spot color.
Okay.
But if you print them side by side, the spot color is brighter than the. But if you look at like under the spot color code or name or whatever you want to call it, it gives you the CMYK values.
Yeah.
It's the exact same.
So KTM. Okay, so this 2017 KTM orange spot color on CMYK value is like 100% yellow. So it's 0 cyan, 100% yellow. 82.63% magenta.
They were very precise.
Right. So, I don't know how, but on one set that I recently printed, my bleed that I did was 83%. And I don't know, Mike, I don't know how I got that number because I didn't touch anything. And
Big difference.
Yes. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Huge difference. Yeah. But lucky for me, it was just a bleed, so it didn't really matter. But there was a few spots where you could see it. And I was like, Brandon, what's this? Because I was at Bike Graphics, and we went in and opened up my file and started using the direct selection tool and found that, sure enough, it was that 0.27%, or 0.27.
Difference.
Yeah, 0.25% difference.
Yeah.
And it was an entirely different color. But their printer doesn't have KTM, or it doesn't have a KTM orange cartridge in it.
It's true.
It's amazing how that tiny little difference of yellow.
There used to be a company for the thermal printers that supposedly made their own ribbons. I forgot the name of them.
Yeah.
I never bought one. They were super janky looking, but they called it like Kawasaki green, Yamaha blue.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if they actually were or not.
You didn't mess with it?
No, it was like a guy on eBay selling them. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. And like if that's the thing, it's like you can look up the CMYK values online for every color under the moon. Mm-hmm. But if you're not hitting it with spot colors,
no good.
It's not going to match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'll be close.
Yeah. And then finding a printer that's capable of printing those spot colors. Mm-hmm. That's like, I did a test sample with your printer with Flow Orange.
Yep.
No, sir.
No.
No. But what's crazy is it's perfectly color matched. So like so Bike Graphics can print Flow Orange now. I don't get it.
Spots.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is a spot color? We should Google what a spot color is whenever we're done with this.
Not on that.
We should be done with it. We're an hour and 47 minutes.
Beautiful.
Anything you'd like to say?
No.
Why don't you do the Patreon outro?
Go to patreon.com/overthebars.
And do what?
Pledge. For your chance at stickers.
That's right. Stickers sent to you monthly.
Some shout outs. We need to give some shout outs on our way out.
We started it and we're going to end it. Matt Meyer, Jesse Anderson, Corey Hipp, Josh Hudson, Ethan Sloniker, all fine Patreon pledges to the patreon.com/overthebars Patreon page. All of these guys are getting custom. Okay, so Matt, Jesse, and Corey are getting custom OTB stickers sent to them monthly with regular OTB stickers in their packs. And then Josh and Ethan are getting OTB stickers monthly. So the difference between a custom sticker is we're talking about
spot colors
versus CMYK percentages. And so the custom stickers are unique colorways, different sizes. They have their name instead of like on the bar pad where it says Over the Bars Podcast, it'll say your name. And then we've got some other cool top secret stickers that I can't quite divulge yet. Yeah, but they're going to be bomb. They're going to be some new OTB stickers coming out.
OTB.
For, let's see, our next pledge month is June.
OTB.
And you still have time to get in on June. So get in on it.
OTB.
Over the Bars Podcast, episode number 7. I'm Jeff Crutcher.
My cousin.
signing out. Goodbye.